In the 17th century, the Mughal Empire dominated the Indian subcontinent. Their military rolled across kingdoms and absorbed vast territories. But when they marched east toward the Brahmaputra River Valley, that expansion came to a dead stop. The imperial army refused to back down. One after another, they launched 17 separate military campaigns against this specific eastern frontier. And 17 times, the indigenous defenders pushed them back. The most powerful military machine in South Asia failed to hold the region even once. How did a region successfully repel the Mughals 17 times, only to eventually lose its sovereignty? And how did that unified fortress fracture into the complex, contested territory of modern Northeast India? Today, Assam is a global hub for biodiversity. It is home to the world's largest population of the one-horned rhinoceros. It is equally defined by a distinct cultural identity, celebrated in traditions like the Bihu festival. But the roots of this region run deep. Ancient texts like the Mahabharata mention it as the kingdom of Pragyotisha, and later records identify it as Kamarupa. By the 7th century, it was a major power in eastern India. The Chinese traveler Xuanzang visited the Kamarupa court and left detailed records of its prosperity, describing a society that blended local tribal traditions with Vedic culture. This wealth and prime geography made the Brahmaputra Valley a recurring target for conquest, establishing a long-standing pattern of invasion and defense across several early dynasties. A new era of organization began in 1228, when a Thai prince named Sukafa arrived from present-day Myanmar. He founded the Ahom kingdom, initiating a rule that would last 6 centuries. The Ahom dynasty built a wealthy society, leaving behind unique royal architecture, like the 2-story Rangar Pavilion. Their power relied on the pike system. In this unique administrative structure, the population provided mandatory labor and military service, allowing civilian farmers to shift into an organized army during times of war. While the Ahom secured the east, the neighboring Kosh kingdom patronized a cultural renaissance led by Saint Srimanta Sankardeva, who established spiritual centers like this Satra to spread the Neo-Vaishnavite movement. The strength of the Ahom military reached its peak on the Brahmaputra River in 1671 at the Battle of Saragat. Facing a massive Mughal navy, General Lachit Borphukan utilized the river's geography to outmaneuver the invaders, securing a total victory that preserved the kingdom's independence. For 600 years, the Ahom kingdom remained unconquered, sustained by the mandatory service and administrative organization of the pike system. But the kingdom eventually broke from the inside. Internal conflicts, specifically the Momaria Rebellion, fractured the empire's unity. This internal decline weakened the state's defenses, leading to a period of brutal invasions by the Burmese military. Looking to secure their own borders, the British East India Company intervened to drive out the Burmese. The conflict ended with the 1826 Treaty of Yondabo. The British expelled the Burmese, but rather than restoring the Ahom, they took control of the region for themselves. Internal division cost Assam its sovereignty, transitioning the region from an independent kingdom into a colonial territory. The British immediately focused on resource extraction. In the 1830s, they discovered the region's massive potential for tea, turning the valley into a global industry hub. Engineers then discovered oil in Digboy, establishing what would become the first commercial oil well in all of Asia. To scale up these industries, the colonial government required a massive influx of labor that the local population could not provide alone. The British responded by importing hundreds of thousands of migrant laborers to work the tea gardens and oil fields. This large-scale migration shifted the region's demographic balance, creating the tensions that would later drive modern socio-political movements. When India gained independence in 1947, Greater Assam covered nearly the entire northeast. Over time, the Indian government reorganized the territory to accommodate diverse tribal identities, carving out the modern states of Nagaland, Meghalaya, and Mizoram. This political restructuring reduced the sprawling historical territory into the much smaller modern state of Assam we see today. By the 1980s, the demographic shifts from the colonial era reached a boiling point in the Assam movement. This student-led protest resulted in the Assam Accord, a move to protect indigenous identity and address the complexities of illegal immigration. Today, Assam remains a hub of biodiversity and a complex, vibrant political landscape. It is a civilization defined by its role as the gateway to the Northeast, a region that repelled the Mughals 17 times and continues to fiercely defend its identity today.